Now that it is officially 2023, I want to talk about my reading goals for this year and if I completed the ones that I set for myself last year. Hey everyone, my name is Amanda and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and setting reading goals is always really exciting for me. I always look forward to setting my Goodreads goal and trying to figure out what I want my reading year to look like. So I was kind of chomping at the bit a little bit to get into this video, and I was excited to talk about it. First, I want to look at what were my goals last year and how did I do with them? I want to start off by saying my reading goals video last year legitimately made me cringe. Editing and recording and everything is just so different now than it was last year. I was like, oh my God, I cannot watch this. I had to turn it off. I was like, I'm just gonna get my goals and be done with it. I was like, oh God, this was not my best work. I do think that that is funny, and I do think that that is a good thing that I have gotten better in my craft as time has gone on in just a year, right? It's only been a year. I'm a lot more proud of my videos now than I was. Well, I was really proud of them back then too. I have improved. But anyways, what were my goals? My biggest goal is always my Goodreads goal. How many books am I planning or going to try to read that year? Last year, my goal was 52. I did this because I had a major drop in the year before. I really wanted to just make sure I kept my reading consistent and was reading at least a book a week, which was a significant decrease for me. And I did complete that goal. I ended up reading 81 books this year, so I surpassed my reading goal, which made me really, really happy. I also set a goal to read both new releases and books that were on my shelves. And I can say that I read new releases. In my statistics video from the end of the year, I talked about how about 50% of the books that I read in 2022 were published in 2022. So like that part of the goal, definitely good. But the reading what was on my shelves part of the goal was an epic failure. I did not do that. That might need to continue on into this year's goals list. Clearly, it was not enough. This one I actually laughed at when I heard myself say it. I had the goal of reading more widely across genres. And I think this goal came from the fact that I have a lot of genres on my shelf. Go watch my absolutely terrible bookshelf organization video. I really wanted to read more from my shelves, so I thought that by reading more genres, I'd get to the ones that were on my shelves. That didn't happen. This whole channel has basically turned into a fantasy romance and romance book review channel. That is what I read the most of. That's what I just enjoy the most. I really kind of stopped enjoying thrillers and mysteries. I felt like a lot of them started just feeling the same to me, or had a lot of themes that were too real, set in the contemporary world, things that were very dark and disturbing that I just didn't want to deal with anymore. The way I look at things is reading is an escape for me, and a lot of those kind of dark things happen in real life, and I don't want to escape to a world that is worse than things that are going on. Now, if it's fantasy, and fantasy has all of those like kinds of themes too. There's violence and fighting and all kinds of stuff in fantasy books, but it just feels different. It feels different, doesn't it? Because it's not real. I know the regular contemporary books aren't real either, but like this is really not real. I really gravitate more towards fantasy and romance and subgenres of that. So that goal was a fail. Reading across more genres was a fail. But I may be able to tweak that goal just a little bit. I also find it pretty funny that one of my goals was to give you guys star ratings, because that's basically become what my review videos are. Like I have specific sections that I go through the book, and I hit the same sections every single time for my review videos, and all of them have star ratings on them. And I used to struggle with star ratings a lot, but since I made this my goal to give you star ratings, I've gotten really, really good at pinpointing my star rating ranking and sticking to it, sticking to how the book made me feel. So I kind of laughed at this goal a little bit. I was like, I gave myself a goal of giving star ratings. That's just what I do. So it's just become second nature for me to do that because I didn't used to give star ratings. I used to just review the book and tell you how it made me feel and what I thought about it. But now I stick with my star ratings. I stick with my spice ratings. I give you my thoughts, and that's just my format. That's what I do. So yay, I completed that one. Then I had a Goodreads goal, not the number of books to read, but that I was trying to keep up with putting my reviews onto Goodreads. And I did pretty well at that goal. I stuck to it pretty well. I got a little lost in the end of the year. There's a couple that I was going to go back on today and fill in that I kind of missed towards the end of the year because of Bookmas and the holidays and all of that stuff. There's only a couple that are just laying around, and that's easy. Otherwise, everything that I read this year had a Goodreads review in it, and that made me really happy. So those were my 2022 goals. Some I completed, some I didn't. But now I want to talk about what I'm going to be setting for myself as goals in 2023. So the first one is my Goodreads goal. And if you're friends with me on Goodreads or you follow my reviews, you might have already seen this. I set my number to be 75 books this year. I did that for a couple reasons. When I first started doing this channel, well, not the channel, but like my Bookstagram before, when I first started doing that, I was reading over 100 books in a year. And I was so stoked because I think I went from in college and my first grad school, I went from reading like 12 books a year or 15 books a year to 100, over 100. That was really, really exciting. But then life happened and things happened and that significantly dropped, and that is normal. Like that happens to people, but I still read a lot. I wanted to challenge myself from my 52 goal last year, but I'm just not quite sure I'm going to be able to hit that 100. If I did hit that 100, I'd be so excited. I might not be able to, but I still wanted to give myself more of a challenge than I did in 2022. So I did 75. I thought that was a good one. Nice, right in the middle. What I worry about with this goal is that I try to put out 2 reviews a week for you guys. Obviously, I didn't meet that last year either with my 80 books. So I might not hit that 2 reviews a week for you guys this coming year, but I can try. I just have a lot of other projects and things that I'm trying to work on and get going and established that kind of has been cutting into my reading time a little bit. Again, I've talked about this before. That's normal. Like life comes and cuts into our reading time. So I just don't know if I'll be able to hit that 100, but I am hoping to be able to hit 75. Next, I do want to continue keeping up on my Goodreads. I did a good job of it last year. It wasn't perfect, but I do still want to continue keeping up on that. I think Goodreads is a lot of times the first place that people go if you don't come to my YouTube channel. But a lot of times the first place that people go to look for reviews. And I know a lot of people rely on that. I really want to make sure that that is kept up. And I usually in my Goodreads review put a link to the video that I've recorded where I explain things a little bit more. If you do find that helpful on Goodreads, like you can always get to my video through that link. Cutting down on my physical TBR. So this was a goal last year. I didn't accomplish it, but I did put out a video in Bookmas counting my TBR and then saying that I'm going to keep track of it on my little letterboard, hopefully cut it down. I am still going to do that, but I do still need to go through my shelves and pull out books that I just know I'm probably not going to read so that that number is more real and will give me more of a space to purchase more books that are coming out this year or indie books that I don't have copies of. So my shelves kind of feel like they've caught up to my changes in reading, because I feel a little bit sometimes that they don't really reflect what I read now. And sometimes it's hard when I get questions from any of you or people on my Instagram that are asking for book recommendations. I have to go through my videos. I can't walk up to my shelves and be like, hey, here they are. I do kind of want to do that clean out, that spring cleaning, if you will, cut down on those books. I didn't make this a goal last year, but it did actually end up happening. I wanted to start reading more independently published books, more indie books. Kindle Unlimited has really helped me do that. It has helped me get to know more indie authors, have more of them available to me, try out so many different genres and types of books that I may not have ever thought I'd read before. I want to keep doing that. I want to support independent authors. I always support traditionally published authors as well because I buy books. I do want to support them in platforms like Kindle Unlimited that do still pay the author, even though you're reading more than one book a month, like the authors still get paid. So it is a good platform to use. But there are so many indie books that I feel like are great, amazing, entertaining books, things that I enjoy reading that people just don't know about. It's really my goal to try to bring more of those to you guys this year. And hopefully you will start to love indie books like I love indie books. Piggybacking along on one of my last year's goals of reading more genres, I want to tweak that a little bit, and I want to see if I can read more 50-50 between my fantasy romance books and my contemporary romance books. I want to see if I can get it as close to 50% as possible. I don't know if I tracked what I did last year, but I'm definitely going to be tracking it along with all my tropes and everything for Bookmas next year. Hopefully, I will be able to keep that 50-50 if I stick with what I talked about on the 2nd when I did my January TBR. If I stick with the back and forth one and then the other, hopefully I'll be able to keep that half and half. And my last goal for 2023 is to pick good book club books. And this is hard because, like I say in my book club, I don't pre-screen the books. I don't read them before and then go, yes, I want to share this book with everybody. No, I'm reading it alongside you guys. I'm reading it at the same time. I have no idea. I'm going into it blind just like you are. I really want to maybe do a little bit more research, read a few more reviews instead of just going into books blindly like I have in the past to see if it fits my vibe and it fits, what I like to read and what I like to share with you guys. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we will have all books next year for Fun Size Book Club that we enjoyed, that either got a 3 or above, that we really enjoyed reading. And hopefully, because of that, more of you will want to participate in book club in 2023 and beyond. That's a lot of goals. It feels like a lot of goals, especially that it is so early in the year. I'm like, all right, got to set all these things up, got to start doing them, got to start accomplishing them. So I still need my little breather break. I still need to climb out of this slump that I'm in right now. So hopefully I'll be able to do that within the next week and we can start working on these goals together. Let me know what your 2023 reading goals are. If we are not already friends on Goodreads, you can add me with the link in the description down below, or just let me know in the comments, like how many books do you want to read? What's important for you in your goals of this year? And is there anything that I can help you with? Are there any types of books that you want to get into? Or maybe you're really a contemporary reader and you want to switch over to fantasy. Like, what can I do to help you accomplish your goals? Thanks for chatting today. Don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.